2023. I received an early Christmas present. It's a joke book, Dad Jokes. I'm going to tell you a joke from this book. I have a joke about procrastination, but I'll tell it to you later.
Take that, mental illness. Hello my friends, and welcome to Youth Potential, a place where we talk about all sorts of things related to mental health. Whether you feel good or whether you feel meh, this place is for you. Also, I've got an Instagram account, please go and check that out.
Hello my friend, Scott here representing Youth Potential. So today we're just going to kind of summarise 2023. You have to excuse me, I've been unwell recently, hence the voice a little bit. Like the last couple of days I was resting up in bed, I didn't feel good. I haven't felt physically unwell like that for a very, very long time. So obviously mental health is something that I normally have to manage, not physical health. So it's there. Anyway, before we get on with the video, I just want to say to everyone, obviously everyone's had a different year. 2023 has, it means different things to different people. But I'd like you to kind of summarise in the comments section how your year has been with your mental health. Has it been good? Has it been bad? Has it been up and down? I'd like to read about it. I always read every comment. I don't always reply to all of them, but I do read all of them. So 2023 to me started off pretty rubbish, to be honest. Like, I was in a job where I was kind of dislike it. Like, I've just grown to not hate it, but thoroughly dislike it. It wasn't doing me any good, like for my mental health or for my physical health. It was draining, because I used to work in the kitchen as a chef for a hotel brand, and I can honestly say, like, I don't know how I put myself through that for so many years of doing that kind of routine. I was basically waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, getting to work for about 5:30, start at 6 o'clock, do people's breakfast. And then I'd work until sort of like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, depending on how busy the morning has been. And then I would go home, sleep for a couple of hours, and then go back into work at about 4:30, start about 5 o'clock, and then work up until sort of like 10, 11 o'clock if it's been really busy. And I was doing that sort of like a couple of times a week, and then I would just work like a morning or an evening. And it was honestly so draining. Like, I did that job I worked for that company for 11 years, and sometimes it really helped my mental health, and other times it didn't do me any favours. I was really miserable when I was going into that job. Like, I used to really enjoy it. Obviously, I really respected and enjoyed the people that I worked with. Like, they were a good team, but the job itself was just getting too much for me. So I was thinking about changing jobs. It wasn't an easy decision made, but I thought, I've got to do this. And change isn't something that change is something that never comes naturally, and it's something that I always struggle with, even if it's like a small change. But this, changing jobs, big change. I have the financial responsibility of 2 children, and I have to make sure that I'm always paying, what I need to. So getting a new job, big risk. But put myself out there, got my CV done. I was applying for jobs, and then this one job came up that I thought, oh, this looks good. This is kind of in a different industry, because I wanted to get out of working in hospitality. I'd had enough of it, working in the hotels and restaurants. Done it for like 16 odd years, just had enough. I've done management, worked my way up, done all that stuff, and then I just had enough of it by the end. It's draining, it's demanding. Like, if any of you have worked in hospitality or work in hospitality, tell me how it makes you feel. So yeah, towards the beginning of the year, sort of like February, I think it was, I was applying for jobs, and then I started my new job in about April, which I'm doing to this day, and I love it. I work with some really cool people, and we get the job done, and it's great. Now I'm working with homeless people, and managing properties and stuff like that. It's good. I really enjoy it, and I get to talk to people about like their mental health as well. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I really enjoy it, and I'm really grateful that I've got that job. So that was kind of my biggest achievement, I'd say, of this year. It was a challenge. I couldn't just walk into the job and be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm just amazing." I got trained by some really, really good people. They showed me the ropes, taught me everything, and thanks to them, I've managed to sustain this job. Yeah, I am grateful for it. Best achievement of the year. I've worked on my relationship with my children as much as I can, and every minute I get to spend with them, that's what, for me anyway, that's what life's all about. Yeah, and I couldn't be more grateful to have my children. So yeah, that was, to me, that's a couple of positives for this year. It's obviously not been, a walk in the park this entire year, but the great thing really about me getting this new job is I have managed to be clean of self-harm at the time of recording, of course, and honestly, I'm really proud of that. I didn't think that I would be able to get to, the end of 2023 and say, like, I've barely self-harmed. The last time I self-harmed was when I was in my old job at the beginning of this year. So, yeah, I think I've done all right there. And that's the thing, when it comes to starting a new year, you don't always, well, you can't look at it and think, right, this is exactly what's going to happen. There are so many variables along the way, and a lot of the time it is an uphill battle with your mental health for whatever reason, and nearly every day you have to just survive. But along the way, good things can happen as well. It's not all doom and gloom, and I'm not trying to gaslight myself or anyone by saying life's easy, because it really isn't. And I don't feel like I've come to the end of the year like I've achieved, complete stability. That's not what it is. But I've got to a stage where I haven't at least self-harmed for 10 months. It's just something to be proud of, surely. But as I say, there has been times this year where it's been challenging. I think trying to start this new job and work my life around that took a lot of change, because I was going from getting up really early to getting up at a more reasonable time. I get up about 7:30 now rather than 5:30. That's really good. My sleep is more regular, but it was a challenge trying to adjust to that, because I used to take naps during the day, and now I wasn't taking naps, and I found myself getting quite tired sort of around lunchtime, where my body's like, oh, I need to go for a sleep. So I kind of had to adjust to that. Another thing as well, if I'm completely honest, that has affected me this year is kind of being lonely. I know it might sound a little bit silly to some people, but to me, that's something that's been bugging me most of the year. And I know you could just sit here and say, Scott, why don't you go out and meet people? Why don't you download these apps and get to know people? And yeah, you're absolutely right. However, I do find it difficult trying to approach the conversation. I think that's what it is. If I'm completely honest with myself, I am really anxious, terrified of approaching a conversation with someone. If someone approaches me and starts a conversation, I find that a bit easier to respond to. But that first initial, hey, how you doing? I absolutely dread it. Absolutely dread it. Does anyone else feel like that? Anyone else find that they're isolated quite a bit because, you know, you struggle with getting into a conversation with people? Yeah. So it might seem silly, but yeah, honestly, I felt quite lonely this year. I haven't made any effort at all to, you know, talk to someone, to get to know them and find a potential partner. If I'm completely honest as well, that's something that I am going to push myself to do next year. It's something that's I should have honestly started working on sooner, but you know, you can't always jump the gun. I wish I could, but yeah, it's something that I've just honestly struggled with. And so, yeah, sometimes I've sat there and wallowed in self-pity, you know, like a sad broken boy, but generally speaking, I think I probably could have done something about this, and I'm going to do something about it next year. Although 2023 has been, you know, a mixed bag of a year, it's had some really good changes, some positive changes, and, you know, there's been some rough patches along the way. You know, it's not been a bad year. But as I say to myself every year, and I'd like to say to you lot, go into the new year with an open mind and just set yourself a couple of goals. Okay, they don't have to be anything too extensive, but it's always good to have something to work towards. Definitely helps me, honestly, having goals and knowing what I need to do. If I can concentrate and focus on those things, then I feel like I'm using my time wisely. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching this video. I know I've waffled on a little bit, but you know, it's been one heck of a year, hasn't it? Anyway, leave a comment, tell me how it's been for you, and I wish you all the best. I'll see you lot in the new year. I'm going to be doing a Instagram live on the 23rd, Saturday 23rd at 7 o'clock British UK time. So if you want to watch that, go over to my Instagram. Okay, all right. All the best, everyone. Take care. Bye.